question.
Yeah.
How do you DJ and do that at the same time?
Was that your wedding last week?
I was going to crash through the windows with a puff of smoke,
Yeah.
but the risk assessment said no, unfortunately. So I do apologise. Well, hello everyone. I'm doing a little review on the Altrice. It's brand new lighting system. It's basically, this is the main unit,
Yeah.
and that's the receiver. So you plug that into the light.
And then it just daisy chains, does it?
Yeah, you could do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you-
If you've got one lighting system, and if you've got lights spread all across the room,
Then
you
you
need a few more.
Yeah.
If you'd like to pass that around, feel free. It's all of it's battery powered, which is very good.
Yeah.
And they last about 12 hours each. The
Grease all over it.
Yeah.
the head unit runs about 20 metres from the iPad. That's on Bluetooth 4. So I have no idea what it is, but it's
that
better
like- is
than
that
normal
like
Bluetooth.
Various grades of phone.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's pretty
so
good.
the latest technology, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then those run to the receiver,
Jesus.
which is about 200 metres, which is pretty good, I think. Might be slightly less than that, for people in the room.
Little
perhaps.
USB feed to charging it up, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it also runs. The problem me and Charlie were thinking would be an issue is running it off battery, and it running out. If you've got 3 or 4 events a week, and you can actually plug it in when it's on. If you switch it on first, you can add a power supply through something like this, perhaps little power pack, or you could find a 5-volt supply from the light. Stick a magnetic base to it, chuck it at the back of the light, or even put it inside the light. The problem is you still have to turn it on every event.
Yeah.
Which is a different thing. The CA8 buttons, the attachments you can get on most lights, you can actually find on the rail. There's as Ash knows, there's a 5-volt supply. So you can do that if you wanted to. One thing I have found, I mean, I'm obviously comparing this to my unit, which is the QT, which is a slightly more advanced system. One thing I've found, it hasn't got the. It would be quite nice if it just had this with the XLR input by output. So that's all you technically could need. I don't know if you. Obviously, they want to sell the receiver units and make money off consumables, which is good. I don't know if you can link it in with general DMX, the things you can plug in. I'm not sure about that, but it's nice obviously to have stuff that works together, and the price is pretty good too. So, quality-wise, this is slightly harder wearing plastic, I'd say. It's about the same weight if you look at the size variants. This, I can imagine, if you smashed it against something, it could break, but it's really nice. It's quite cute, I think. You'd all agree, and which is always nice. And like that, they're very similar products because that keeps all the information in it. That looks like a little brain, and that does too. So if the iPad goes down, then
You'll carry on using
yeah, it won't all just die.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think I'd be quite happy using Luminaire or something like that, which just runs off the iPad. Because if the iPad goes, everything goes dark. I think. So I'll never use Luminaire. So. And yeah, as I said, it's a 15-hour battery for each thing, and on each of the, as you can see there, actually, you get a little battery level. One thing you might notice, the receiver 1 is not actually functioning on this. No idea why, because it has done. Did it work with you?
Yeah, it
When you
works.
first used
It doesn't show up as
Yeah,
being
yeah,
connected.
it's working fine, but it's not showing up for some reason. But this is a new product. It's not been fully. It is for sale, but it's not been totally field
Just the
tested.
beta version.
Pretty much, yeah. And I mean, the software is really good, which I found, which we'll go into now. Like
Is this just Apple only, is it?
I think so, yeah.
So you
yeah.
can't use it on Android tab.
Not sure, I need to check on that.
Okay.
Possibly, but the software's free, so you can actually get the software and fiddle around with it. So it's a really nice piece of kit, really. And it's very simple, I found. So this is the main settings section. You can actually delete everything there, which is a nice thing to have if you're fed up with it. You can just delete it all. That's for strobe, and that's for smoke. So you've got smoke control and strobing. And it's nice that you've got the battery. You can actually see what the battery is going on the units. To do the fixtures, it's really quite straightforward. I think you're quite impressed with it.
Yeah,
when you
for what
use
it is, it's great.
We've got a Parcan here. It's a 4-channel sort of DMX Parcan, and so you set up basically DMX size. So say 4 channels, 4 channels, and then it will set. You basically choose what you want. As you can see on there, so you have got all different types of lights, and that'll be a Parcan basically. The DMX address is 1. So we'll set that to close. So that's then. So then you need to set the fixture channels. So it's going to be red, green, blue, white. So that's green. And blue. I'll pass this around and you can have a little fiddle with it. Blue and white. That's all good. Cool. That's all done. So it works, which is always a good thing. It's crashed a couple of times actually, but it's been pretty stable, I think, considering it's quite a new product. I'm quite impressed with it. So this is the main section. This is what you'll be using at an event. So you've got all the main hot cues there. You could do with a few more hot cues, I think. So you could have the top section as colours, just set colours for our uses anyway. And then you could perhaps go into different banks for other things. Whereas QT's got.
Is this just basically for you're doing uplighting with that, so you have it as set?
Yeah, you can have any light. So I can have like
Yeah.
strobes going off, lasers
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah. On my QT,
Whole shows and things.
the QT's
Yeah.
got. I'll show you in a second.
Yeah.
It's got a lot more selection, which can kind of be a pain because you've got a lot of room to go there. But it's designed more for stage use. This is designed for mobile DJs and for sort of people in nightclubs and stuff like that. So I think I've got to set a scene. So you choose the light you want.
So as long as you know how many if that could have various options. It could have 4 channels. It might have
Yeah, whatever you want.
a
So if
7
you've got a
or
moving head with 8 channels or whatever, or a laser with 20.
various options.
Yeah. That's just quite a simple light. It's actually got 7 channels, but I've put it to 4 because it's
Right.
yeah. For the purpose of the demonstration. So let's say first one's white. This is just like a standard old school slider type operating DMX. It's very similar. So we do each step. So let's do that. Red, make it nice and different. Next. This is one thing I found. This can slightly be, as you can see, sometimes
I found
I
that
haven't been able to. Yeah.
accurate.
Depends on. Yeah. Like
Can you
that.
type the values in, or do you have to use that slider?
Never tried.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
No.
But otherwise, it's been quite solid. You'll see in a minute something that happens every time it goes to a black screen, but I'll go through that in a second. No, green, why not? Not the nicest of colours, but so then you can play through it, as you can see. So you can see what you've done. So imagine you've got a whole load of lights going off.
Yeah.
You've programmed each different one. It works really well.
How do you work the timing on it to fit in? Is
I'll
it
go
set
through.
time or
Yeah.
I'll go through it in a second.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. It does this. It says scene has been saved. I think this is a little
If
glitch.
you name it then.
You edit the scene, long press button. If you press OK, it goes to black screen. If you press don't show me again, it goes to black screen.
So that's it.
Which is fine, but you'd expect it to go back to where it came
Yeah.
from. And to not say it again, and it still says it again. So you go back to
So I
live.
got some work to do there.
just
It's all right.
simple back reporting?
Yeah. That's why you're here, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll do another quick one. So we've got 2 to go through. So we'll do some different colours.
I was reviewing Pangolin and Beyond for 3 years before they actually released Pangolin Beyond, the main software.
Right. So then there we go. So I'll do it again. Do not show me again. But it's not such a problem. I mean, it's not like it's crashing or anything, and it's not something you'd be doing live. Obviously, I haven't used this live, so I'd like to see how it fares through a whole night. The QT we've used over and over again, it hardly ever crashes. It crashes occasionally on the phone, but that was my old phone. It doesn't seem to do it. The new one.
So if you're using all the same uplighters around the room, you're only going to use one program. But if you need to add other lights into the system, is that simple enough on that?
Yeah,
Do it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only
You just
used
need to
this,
add
so I'm
the-
not really the best
Yeah,
person.
okay, I just wondered.
That's the
That's
thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because all DMX lighting is easy when you do it as a step-by-step
Step.
state. It's when you start making
Adding other
what
things
are
into-
cue stacks up.
Yeah.
And also trying to time those cue stacks in
So
with
they're
sort of
all-
like a tempo
yeah.
selection.
Yeah.
Or something like
I'd
that.
assume if you had loads of lights around the room, you'd either buy more of them, or you'd have to still link them with cables, but I'm sure there's a way. If
I
If you were
think
to have
actually,
them all
I mean,
around
we've
it.
got the. I think you could link that with standard DMX
yeah.
signatures somehow. That's obviously. So it says press here and done. I've added these two scenes. Press here and done. So it crashed. So it does occasionally crash, and then sometimes it doesn't.
It's a
So-
new product. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be-
yeah.
Depends on the.
So how do you save those scenes? Do you
You can
name
do my
them,
iPad.
or do you just
You can name them. I'm
can't
just
name
not
them?
doing it.
Okay,
'cause it
that's
takes
fine.
ages.
Yeah.
It has memorised it. Just crashed.
Yeah.
So we've got, this is a hot slider. I haven't set it. I think you can set the speed on the hot slider,
Yeah.
but this is a bit of a pain. As you can see, the BPM, you see it going up. You have to actually press plus and minus,
Yeah.
which takes quite a bit of time. It would be better to have, when I did the DMX, to have like a scroll thing, a bit like on iPhones,
Yeah.
when you're doing the time and stuff like that. That'd be quite nice.
A lot of
Or-
software's quantise it, so if you're tapping away, it'll
Yeah,
quantise.
that'd be
what
good, yeah.
you're-
And then tap, if you could tap. Well, that's quite a standard feature. It's been on old school controllers for a long time. So that'd be nice to see that. I mean, it's a bit pointless, I think, doing the
I
BPM.
didn't quite understand that BPM bit.
Yeah, it does the speed. It's just going quicker and quicker. So if I keep my finger on it,
Can you not link that into your DJ software or whatever? For it to tell you, can the software not, be it Serato, Tractor, Virtual DJ, not tell it what the BPM is?
I don't think so. I think the whole point of this is you're just using the iPad. You don't need a laptop. That's the beauty of it.
But you've still got to use the slide. You can't just put 210.
No, you can't.
210,
If
so you can't just put it in.
you won't come up with a.
immediately. Yeah.
No. So it'd be nice to have like as you say, like a tap button or something.
Mm.
It's just-
Or even actually link it into a microphone on
yeah,
Yeah.
even better.
Built-in
the
mic.
so it can sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this hot slider, I haven't set it up, but that does change things. But it depends what lights you got in there. And a lot of lights you got the kind of strobe function anyway, so you can actually do the speed on it.
And like movers and stuff, you'd have all your go-goes
Yeah.
and everything
Have
as
they
well.
got kind of like a personality library for moving heads and things like that?
I'll just have a look, shall we?
Because that's the big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moving
Yeah.
heads take ages to
Yeah.
program.
But there's one thing I found with Qt, they've got a
Most
massive,
companies
massive list.
now, if you go onto their website, you can actually download the fixture pack to go onto whatever software you're using, and then you can just basically set the DMX channels or whatever channels that you want to run
So
it
let's
on.
say moving spot.
You see every now and again on the forums that if someone
No.
buys a Chinese light or something that doesn't have anything made for it, and they're like, any of the geeks that know ins and outs of this, can you design me the fixture packs or whatever?
I mean, I run Camsys for all the stuff that we do, and every fixture that I've got, fortunately, was already stored on there anyway. But if I know Camsys, there were some units like the new strobes that I got, they're fresh off the market, and they didn't make a palette for it. So I just emailed them and said, "This is the unit I've got.
Yeah, sort of.
Make it work." Within 24 hours, they said, "Chuck it in and stuff." So
Well, I have the visual productions of Qt. They did me.
They have now merged with Chauvet,
They have basically, it's still, and I was talking to James because James does a bit of work with me, and how Camsys and Chauvet work is, Camsys is still formally, they own the whole lot, that Chauvet just are helping to push their brand in the States because Chauvet are quite big in America, so they're just helping to push the brand out there. They're nothing to do with UK sales or anything like that, they're just more pushing it in the States. So, yeah, so I was a bit worried. I thought, I'm not buying it at Chauvet, you should get a big discount on that because Chauvet stuff can get a discount. Oh
So-
no, it's still our own.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So you've plugged your Shamsys, thank you.
Sorry.
Camsys.
sorry. I was just saying.
Pass it around.
Yeah.
It's all being filmed and sent back to
It is,
the
yeah. I'll cut that in the last 5 minutes. Sorry about that. So we've got that, which is really nice.
We
We've
said
got.
don't look at.
No, I'm joking.
Right.
I mean, I've been using that for a couple of years now, maybe a year, is it?
Yeah,
Can't remember
yeah.
now. It's been solid, which is nice. that's a simpler version, I think, which is it's prettier to use. It's simpler, so I
So
think it does suit the average mobile
The
DJ.
box you got in your hand,
Yeah.
is that the equivalent of the receiver or the transmitter?
It's the equivalent of this. Although
Yeah,
that
That's
this,
the transmitter.
Yeah.
yeah, this is bigger.
Yeah.
Obviously, you also need it works on Wi-Fi.
You can,
That works on Bluetooth, which could arguably be safer and more reliable.
you can run DMX straight out of that,
Yeah,
can't you? You
yeah.
can't run
You can't
DMX
that
No,
way,
straight
you
out of
can't.
that.
No.
So how far does Bluetooth go? Not that far. No.
Well, he's 20 metres. He's episode.
So I was looking at Bluetooth speakers, have you set that? You can set the
I've got a Luminaire set up on an iPad, and I've only ever used it a couple of times, and it works with a wireless router, which I'm using an Apple one, I can't remember what they're called, it's a little one, and an NTech dongle, which is much like that, where it's got a LAN connection and a DMX output. And the beauty of that is that the LAN connection means that you could actually use wireless for if you needed to get it, if you had lights up on a balcony or something like that, you could actually use wireless to do it. I've got a feeling,
That's what I
something in
use
my
with this.
head tells me that if the iPad loses connection, the NTech device, the dongle bit, actually does retain the
That's
last
good. Yeah, that's key.
group
That
of
would be
steps.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that does too.
Hitting the balls.
it does. Yeah, I used it on the
You
on the
could
box.
turn it off in a minute. See what happens.
So you're saying that the with wireless, is that the wireless that's already in a venue, or is it? It's
No.
Your own
system?
one. So I've got a little router
So-
down there, which is
yeah.
running
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, so you're
That's
on your
not. This isn't running through anything
No.
today. That's
Yeah.
running straight from there to
Bluetooth.
here. Yeah, and then that's running from there to there. So
Yeah.
with this, you have to buy a separate router,
Yeah.
which is a bit of a pain. It takes up more space, and then also run it to a wireless sender, which I use one of my lights as a slave, and it sends it to everything else, which is fine. But on certain setups, it might be a pain. This is a much more simplified version. It would be nice to actually have that with a router built in. They don't take up much room.
Just out of
Okay.
interest, I don't know the answer. What is the frequency? Is it 2.4?
2.4. It's
The Bluetooth.
Wasn't me.
It's 2.4 from that to that, and it's Bluetooth 4 from the iPads to the receiver, or the control unit.
Okay. What's the price point?
That's right. I'm just getting the retail prices. Both of them with the control and receiver is £207 currently, which I think is quite well priced
That's not
for what it is. Yeah.
What for the
Yeah.
pair?
Yeah, for the pair. The receiver's 68 and the controller's 163. Obviously, there's a lot more involved in that.
Software
So
free.
if you needed,
Software's free, yeah.
so if you needed more of them, you'd have to buy one of those and 5. Or
I think you got up to 7 on there.
Yeah.
On that one. Martin, press settings if you go to the right hand side. Click on here. Just on here.
Top left.
Settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do 7 receivers. They might possibly increase that. Depending, I think they've just done that as a standard to see what happens. Because I mean, the average person's going to only have a few lighting fixtures around. So it's not bad pricing. Antennas, it's £9 for a antenna like that, and it's £17 for a bigger one, which will go a lot further, obviously. I found with mine, I've got a big antenna with the old system I had. It massively increases the range, which is really nice, especially in marquees. You've got a lot of people in open air.
Yeah.
And you can buy the receivers separately.
Yeah, you can buy it all separately. So, and in terms of competition, I mean, this is a QT. That's £220 for that, but you also need to buy the router, the cables, and the wireless transmission, depending on what system you have. There's good, from what I found, there's good support on the QT. It's a biggish company. It's been great, really. They've always got.
So have they got their own version of software? Or is it
Yeah,
just-
yeah. It's software on the iPad.
So it won't
iPad
run
only.
with-
But another thing, the iPad, they've got an iPhone remote, so it's just hotkeys on the remote,
Yeah.
which is really quite handy on the phone, which is quite nice. It'd be nice to see this system having something like that. So you program it all on the iPad. And a couple of times actually, I forgot my iPad, haven't I?
Yeah.
And
Shit.
I was like, what do I do? I've got the phone, great. And I've run the phone, brilliant. And it's been pretty good. Okay, so we got, that's 207. Sorry, 220. Then there's Emulation Touch, which is basically the same version of that. I think it's Elation, the company. So they're obviously reselling to other companies, which is always a good thing. And that's sold by Toman. That's one of their 3 iPad controllers. There's a lot of crap from China, and some of the earlier Luminaire stuff. Luminaire 3 is quite good, I think, now.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I've
It's
got
£80.
that. It's expensive though. Yeah,
It's £80, isn't it?
for the software.
Yeah.
For the software.
They put a lot of
£80.
research and development probably into that. So, and you don't need anything else probably apart from the dongles.
I bought it and never used it.
There's also,
Is that for
if I can
a sort of
pronounce,
tablet or a laptop or something? That's what's that DMX interface? Is it?
Yeah, Luminaire is the software. I know it works for iPad. I don't know if it's for Android as well. It might be.
I think it is.
Yeah, they're a bit of a professional setup, these people.
Been around.
And yeah, it does all the DMX stuff. And you can actually, if you've ever heard of Philips Hue lights, not disco lights, these are like domestic lights for the house. These are smart light bulbs that are connected to the internet. For example, I've got them at home, and from here I can turn the lights off in my house.
That's really useful.
Yeah.
for Wi-Fi.
I can also change the colour of them. It will work with that as well. So this Luminaire stuff's pretty good, but it's expensive. Yeah, but very solid, a bit more, in terms of stability, but a little bit more intense to use. It's not like Lego.
So that worked the other way
Yeah.
around as well, so you could sit at home and control your disco from you.
Yeah, man, when I get that. When I get that.
There's Luminaires. There's also another thing, which is ADJ. It's the Air DMX, which I'm not quite sure about the system because I think it's kind of a hybrid between iPad control.
And then they call it AirPlay or something.
Something like, I don't know.
Isn't
That's
it just
Apple
for their
Air.
own fixtures?
Yeah, and you can only just plug. It's a bit funny.
You have to have Wi-Fi built.
The only thing that really competes with this one I've seen is Vibrio DMX, which is £84, which is quite well priced. I haven't actually looked too far into it, but it looks like a similar software. Not sure if the hardware's the same or anything like that. So,
Will the software run on a Mac?
not that I know of. The whole point is, there's tons of Mac software out there. You can use dongles and stuff. The whole point is this is very mobile. So it's kind of, I'm just really looking at the iPad type applications. And Chauvet Flarecon Air, that's £200. That's a very similar thing. Yeah.
Well, no, I've seen the Chauvet stuff at when I went to NADJ London meeting. It was quite impressive. I thought it was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I use
The Chauvet
I'm
stuff.
watching, the Wi-Fi, the air thing.
Mm.
It's very good, very good.
Yeah.
There's a definite drive by the lighting companies to get you to buy into their systems.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
also with the DMX control systems, isn't it? With the Chauvet
Mm.
system as well. But I was looking at some compact uplighters and battery-powered uplighters that Ape lighting do.
Yeah, yeah.
Really incredibly good. I mean, they use really high-end LEDs on them, whereas a lot of them now are up to 3 and 6 watts. They're using 15-watt RGBs in a tiny little can like that. And they're battery powered, and you get like 16 hours on one little can,
Did you not think, because I love those lights, because I love anything that looks like it's really well designed and beautiful.
Because a stainless steel
You know,
casing.
yeah,
and everything.
absolutely beautiful, isn't it? But don't they look vulnerable to you?
Well,
I did think,
people could
if
pick
I had
them
a
up.
few of them knocking around, I would be paranoid that someone was going to
Yeah,
fix
do you know what? I thought exactly the same thing as you. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, what I would do with that is I would actually put them on plates so that there's something a little bit more to take away than just a small fixture about that big, because they are really about.
They really are like a tin of baked beans, aren't they? Like, that's what they,
But
some of them look like,
incredibly
don't
bright.
What's
Yeah.
the price on it per unit?
they? Oh,
You- They sell them kind of like, you can buy them flight cased up in a group of 6,
Yeah.
in groups of 6, and they're about like 800-900 quid for 6 of them. And then they also, like Chauvet and a lot of the other companies, have their own DMX protocol. So you buy their own little transmitter, so they're all Wi-Fi, but
So let's
buy
go.
into their
you
system.
buy into their system, and that's the way a lot of the lighting companies are going now,
They've
unfortunately.
got so many lights, it makes sense, I suppose, to them. So. Anyway, that's it really, so thank you very much. If you would like to buy this unit, there's a possibility it may be for sale, I'm not sure. I haven't heard back from the person who developed it yet. He's based in France, he comes across as a very nice chap, and I wish him all the best in the world for his wonderful product. So thank you.
Don't have to know the
Theobald.
Are we having a quick break?
If anyone, yeah, I was going to say, if
Okay.
does everyone want a 10-minute